Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're going over 10 bourbons and ryes that I just not going to buy again. So let me start out by saying rare breed is not on that list. That's just what I'm enjoying tonight. I would never forsake the beautiful and value king of bourbon, rare breed. I always keep a bottle of that on hand because A, it's delicious, neat, B, it's delicious with ice, C, it's a great cocktail mixer, and D, it's cheap enough to pour for guests who don't love bourbon particularly. So always keep a bottle of rare breed on hand. That's just what I'm enjoying here tonight. So let's kick off the list by saying there will be some shocks to people on this list. All of these are good bourbons that taste good, that I enjoyed drinking. It's not that I didn't, it's just I'm not going to buy another one for various reasons. First up, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye. Gasps! Oh my God, Bourbon Bill, you love Jack Daniel's. How could you? Because here's the bottom line. Although this is good, it's not overly expensive. Well, this is a $3.75, but the full $7.50 of this, they're not overly expensive. They're in like the $40 hair range, I believe. Problem is, there's just ryes I like better. I much prefer Sagamore Spirits ryes. Much prefer Wilderness Trail Rye at cask strength. This is good. Not that I don't like it. Just not going to buy another one. Let's move on to number 2. That's right, a Knob Creek Single Barrel Rye store pick. Bourbon Bill, your palate's garbage. No, again, very good, but for the reasons I just stated over there, I think the other ryes beat this easily. And this one's about $60 hairs in PA. And it's good, but it's not as good as the other ryes I mentioned. Will not buy another, even though I love Knob Creek as a whole. Number 3, Joseph Magnus Murray Hill Club. So I haven't hated this bottle. I've almost finished it. The regular Joseph Magnus I don't like. Just their regular triple cask. Would never ever buy a bottle of that. This was good, but at like $90 to $100 hairs, way better stuff available in that price range. I'm sorry, but this is good, but this should be like a $65 bottle max. It's just not, don't quite think it lives up to that $100 hair price point. And I would just rather not buy this and buy a cigar batch. Not that I could find one of those, but if I could, I'd rather just buy that. That's the best thing they make, really. So, not going to waste $90 to $100 hairs on this again. Number 4, Booker's. Doesn't really matter the batch. I buy the Bookers simply for the boxes to store my corks. That's it. It's the only reason I buy them. I like, the Beam Juice quite a bit. The bottom line is, though, I'd rather go buy a 9-year store pick at 120 proof. I'd rather drink a Knob Creek 12. There's just things I would rather drink than Bookers, and the price of Bookers now in PA is $100 hairs now. 99 plus 6% sales tax. So again, for that price, as everything's gone up in price, I guess the value proposition of Booker's is not as bad as it once was. I still think it's not great, but it's not as bad as it once was. But that being said, there's just better stuff within the Beam family than the Booker's batches. Number 5, Widow Jane Lucky 13. You might say, I thought you loved Widow Jane. I do. I typically love what Widow Jane does. I've always said they've been a bit expensive. I will say that. This Lucky 13 is now over $100 a bottle in PA. Hard to get. And I think, if you watch my review on it, outshined by the 10-year anniversary. I know that was limited, but if I'm in the mood for Widow Jane, I'm kind of in the mood for like Widow Jane Decadence. A nice dessert pour of it, or the 10-year anniversary. So I think I'm just not going to buy one of these again because of the extra price. I'd rather just go, if I don't have a 10-year anniversary, just sip on a Widow Jane Decadence maybe. Losing track here, I believe. Number 6 is up next. 1792 Foolproof. You might say, I thought you loved foolproof. I do. I hardly reach for these anymore. These were like 47 to 50 doll hairs at one time in PA, the picks. I've had one pick that was really good. This pick's a different profile. I like it, but I just have better stuff that I just don't really reach for this one that much anymore. And I just don't, once this one's gone, I just don't think I would replace it. I don't. There's just, my number one of the 1792 lineup is the 12 year. I actually prefer that. Although that's hard to get, but I just don't think that I would replace this. As far as Barton juice goes, I'd rather get the Calumet lineup, you know, the higher age Calumets. I'd rather get like a Lucky 7 series of some sort. That to me is almost better Barton, and they're putting in their own labels sometimes. So just probably wouldn't buy another one of these. Number 7. Weller Antique 107. Go ahead and just, how could I? You can say it, how could, Antique Weller 107's the best Weller. Remember, maybe you believe it's foolproof, whatever. For as hard as these are to get in PA, unless you live in Ohio or Texas, I just, you know, it's good. It's good. I like it. I enjoy it. Do I enjoy this more than Rare Breed? That's debatable. Do I enjoy this more than Knob Creek 12? Well, that's debatable. Do I enjoy this more than a Maker Special release? No, probably not. Was this better than Larceny Barrel Proof C922? No. No, it wasn't. So, I think Weller's good. If you like the sweeter profile, it's for you. I just don't, I'm not going to feel the need to hunt another one down. I guess if one falls into my lap at MSRP, I'll keep one around for those tater hounds that when they come over to my house. Number 8. Angel's Envy Store Picks. Now, I know this is, and this one's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Angel's Envy is overpriced no matter which way you slice the pie. And that is the definitive truth. Their cash strengths are probably the best thing they put out, but are not worth the over $200 MSRP on them. This here happens to be the best value that Angel's Envy puts out in terms of deliciousness and what you're getting, right? These are anywhere from like 101 to 110 proof, the store picks. So they're like close to those cash strengths, but not quite. And these are roughly 80 to 90, maybe 100 doll hairs, depending on where you get them from. Are they good? Sure. Sure, they're good. But, you know, I just don't reach for it that often. I know I drank it. But it's just, I don't think I would spend, like, again, these should be like 60, 65, just not the 80 to 90. You know, that's my problem. Again, is this better than, like, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof? No. No, it's not. And I realize this is finished and that's not, but is this better than a Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof? No. Is this better than some sort of finished Bardstown for, like, 20 bucks more, maybe? Nah. The finished Bardstowns are better. So, I just don't think I would grab another one, although this one was enjoyable. If you're keeping count, we're on to number 9. Old Carter American Whiskey. Again, another one that might surprise you. Do I like Old Carter? Yes. Do I enjoy their bourbon and their American whiskey? Yes, I do. Do I enjoy lightening my wallet to the tune of 200 doll hairs? No, I do not. No, I do not. Now, I'll give you a caveat. This just says small batch, and this was batch 10 American whiskey. I enjoy these a lot. I wouldn't probably buy another one for 200 unless it's one of the age-stated ones. That's my caveat. If they put out one of the 14-year, 15-year age-stated ones, yep, all day I'm buying for 200. But a non-age-stated one again, no, I'm just not. Mark and Cherry, you're doing great work, but the lack of an age statement and you know, still maintaining that same price just doesn't quite sit well with me. And I think, you know, obviously they didn't age date it because, you know, it's not all high age stuff in here, right? So I just don't think I would buy another one that wasn't age dated. Now, the most controversial, what I believe to be the most controversial, I've saved for dead last here. Number 10. Oh my God, it's Old Forester 1920. How could you, Bourbon Bill? This is one of the bourbons that really got me into bourbon. And you might say, well, why are you not buying another one? For two reasons. Number one, I prefer the 1910 out of the Old Forester Whiskey Row series. So I will always buy a bottle of that and always keep a bottle of that on hand. Secondly, these aren't quite as good as the Old Forester barrel strengths, right? And so I have an Old Forester barrel strength. So if you have an Old Forester barrel strength and I prefer the 1910, I don't really have to replace this 1920. I won't miss it. I won't miss it. Is it good? Absolutely. If someone gives me one, will I be sad? No, not at all. I'll be very grateful. Will I drink it? Sure. But just probably wouldn't replace it solely for those two reasons. Now, that's really the end of the list, but we do have an asterisk that didn't quite make the list because they've rectified the situation. Last on the list is the Maker's Mark Wood Finishing LEs. Now, I just said this was better than, you know, the Antique 107, and it's true that it is. But here's the rub. I'll probably keep buying these. I do enjoy them. I do drink them. I think they're one of the better wheaters out there. I just feel like the stave finishing shtick is getting old. It's just getting long in the tooth. And I know this year the BEP, which I don't have yet, and I will get. I'm going to get the BEP. So that's why I didn't put this on the list, because I was going to lie. I was going to buy the BEP. But they're also stopping this iteration of the wood finishing at the BEP in 2023. So once I get the BEP, you know, I guess I can put it on this list because that's it. They're done with them. So I think Makers has finally heard the cries of the bourbon community and is going to rectify the situation. I have no idea what they're going to do next, but we've been asking for age-dated Makers. They're doing that. The cellar-aged, 11 to 12 years, coming out probably sometime in 2023. And then, you know, they said the BEP was the last of the wood finishing. So, like I said, it was kind of going to make the list, but they are different enough in flavor profile that I do like to grab them. But I'm glad they're kind of moving on. So, if you want to save some money, buy some rare breed. There's my public service announcement for the week. If you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everyone. Thanks. Have a good evening.